Osamu Tezuka. The story about a kitty thief and the boy whose body was bargained away to demons. But before I begin, I would recommend that you make yourself as comfortable as you can and take some deep breaths, as deep into your belly, to the bottom of your lungs as you can, and to let the ghost that is you, that is within you, settle as deeply as calmly as possible into your center. And let us get back to the story. So where we left Yakamaru, we had just discovered his history, that his name means something about demons, and he has learned that he has 48 demons, of whom to chase down and find his body parts. But this is the second chapter, and it is titled The Monk. So here we see like a mandolin, or whatever this kind of guitar is called, and perhaps this person is singing, but it says, "The wind blows in the east, and it rains in the west. If the fickle wind delivers my scent, step aside." And we see Hyakkimaru walking past this traveling musician, kind of giving him the side eye, even though, if you remember, he's unable to see, at least from his actual eyes. "You there," someone calls out. I guess it is the musician. "What, me?" "Yes, you. You reek of death. How can you tell?" "I can't see." I guess this traveling monk cannot see either. "But the blind can sniff out the differences. The average man can't see." Now he turns to face Hyakkimaru and points his walking stick at him. "That's some misfortune you've got, yes. You're tailed by shape-shifting demons." He has read his ticket, and I like his shoes, these kind of platform shoes that have the two sticks. I'm reminded of our friend Shiftry here, who has a similar shoe on, although I guess it's just his actual feet. "Old man, I can't see either." "Is that right? We're in the same boat. Where are you headed?" "Dunno. Somewhere I can find happiness." "That's a tough one. Besides, who knows if you'll live long enough." He throws his walking stick up as if to strike him. "How's your swordsmanship?" But of course he blocks with his scabbard. "Non-existent." "You're very vulnerable. There's no way I can master the sword." the sword, make me your apprentice. I guess he was genuinely impressed here. You misunderstand. I'm not trying to recruit apprentices or assistants. I'm self-taught. I have no method. All I wanted to say is, there is no such thing as happiness in this world. All you can do is rely on yourself. If a guy like me can do this much, you can too. And I guess with that, he walks off. Wait! He jumps up to chase after him. At least, let me travel with you. Interesting, this is sort of parallel to Dororo when he first met and wanted to follow Hyakimaru. I don't think so, says the monk. You're headed that way, right? I'm going the other way. And he hobbles off. As he continues down this sort of sandy path, we see Hyakimaru is still following him. The man looks back with his blind eyes, and the young boy has sort of a sheepish look on his face. The monk looks forward and murmurs, "The wind blows in the east, and it rains in the west." So the monk continues to sing as he crawls along this precarious mountainside path, and Hyakimaru follows him from a distance. And now we see perhaps waves far below them, splash, crashing up along the edge of the mountain that they're traveling upon, and it looks now like he's climbing, so it must be a very narrow path. And suddenly he notices something. You said you can't see. Why should the blind fear such a path? This is fear in his eye. It's not the path. I'm afraid the wind's gonna blow me away. And we can see it is quite a precipice, a sheer drop into the water, and the wind is very strong. He closes his eyes. If the fickle wind, says the monk. I see you won't leave me be. Old man, I'm hopeless. I'm missing 48 body parts and I'm haunted by demons. I can't do anything. We've caught our hero in a weak moment. I can't see, hear, speak, or smell, and lack arms and legs. Nothing works. I can't do anything. I mean, obviously, he can do quite a lot, but I know we don't always recognize our abilities. You think so? Yeah, I'm useless. He's very upset. I think he's either crying or sweating. Nonsense. I want to show you something. It's beyond this path. You stay alive until we get there. The wind continues to beat down on them as they climb the mountain. What's this? The burnt remains of a village. It became a battleground in the recent wars. Why show me this? This isn't it. village survivors. Some have no arms, legs, or eyes. Others are badly burned. These kids are pitiable. No one cares for them. But see how hard they try to survive. See, I don't know what's wrong with you, or whether the devil's got you, but you've grown this big. Why not try to make it on your own? Well, I'm off. You take care. We'll meet again. And the monk walks off, singing his song. If the fickle wind delivers my scent. And Yakimaru's fallen to his knees and seems to be crying. I started living with those kids from that day. They were boundlessly happy in spite of their wretched lives. I befriended them and began practicing my sword. Yeah! We see him throw out his sword and slice all these poles in half. The girl who cared for them was called Mio. And here we see a pretty faced, light-haired woman who seems enamored by Yakimaru and perhaps the same from him. He has both swords revealed. Mio was kind, strong, and loved by all. My guess is she was beautiful too. I guess that's true, we can't actually see what she looks like. My heart would skip a beat every time I was with her. Here she is kind of gingerly replacing his prosthetic arms. I love you, Mio. Do you love me? Wow, he's pretty fast with that. I never heard her voice, but I could feel the warmth of her heart flowing into me. And here they are in sort of an idyllic image of the two of them holding hands. But now it's gone dark. Mio's heart told me I'm not a pure girl. So what? I answered. I go into the soldiers' barracks to get food for the kids. So what? I said. You don't understand. She's turned away from him, and a tear seems to be falling down her cheek. And here we see what are probably the soldiers in the barracks, laughing, clapping each other on the back. And here's Mio being thrown around, tossed into a puddle. She gets up wet, with a bowl, asking for more food. They throw something at her, hits her in the face, and she's back on the ground, surrounded by broken bowls, fish bones, the laughter of these soldiers. I'm sorry, Mio. I promise to make you happy. Better yet, we'll all find happiness. And they sort of walk off into the shadows. One day, as I returned from sword practice, I sensed something unusual. Gasp. The temple is on fire. Oh no. Giant flames emerge from everywhere. It's completely engulfed. We see what looks like the burned body of a child. Yakimaru rushes up the stairs. Mio! Mio! He shouts, or somehow projects. And before him is a gruesome scene. All of the children seem to have been killed. But he finds her body, rushes to it, picks her up, and perhaps kisses her. Run if you want to live, kid. We're burning this place. And here are the soldiers. No doubt the culprits of this fire. Why? Why did you kill Mio and the kids? They tried to stay after I told them to leave, so I cut them down. So what? Yakimaru throws off his arms, revealing his blades, and charges at the soldier. Yeah! And cuts through him, and then goes on to cut through all of the other soldiers, wildly ripping through their bodies. They clearly weren't expecting it. Sup. They try to defend themselves, but sup. He's too fast. And he's fueled by rage. And he cuts through all of them. Arg. And now we see Yakimaru standing alone in the aftermath of his outburst. Nothing but dead soldiers surround him, and the burning temple in front of him. The fire consumes it all. Mio was the first to breathe humanity into my heart, but she died, and my heart died with her. We're back now with Dororo, who's listening to this story. Feel my chest. There's no warmth. See, ice cold, right? Dororo reaches and touches his chest. Yeah. I learned the sword and can act like a normal person, but what difference does it make? I'm as empty as a hole in a dead tree. Might as well be dead. He covers his face as he says this, perhaps revealing that there is still some sense of humanity inside him. That's why death follows me. Look, he points over his shoulder, and we see what looks like a baboon just sort of sitting a little further off in the path. But a close-up of his face makes it look a little creepier. There's no pupils in the baboon's eyes. The god of death is observing me through that ape's carcass. So there you have it. You have no business being with me. Run along. No. Dororo spits his tongue out at him. Your story gets more interesting by the minute. Shigeru Mizuki should hear it. You think your sob story is going to make me give up your sword? It makes it all the more desirable. The little boy is rubbing his hands together. You're still after this sword? Don't follow me. On my name, I will have it. And there's a note here. Shigeru Mizuki means master of yokai or monster manga. So perhaps this is Dororo's mentor. Shut up. Yakimaru runs ahead of the boy. Shoo! Off into the wilderness. Jumps on some rocks to get across a stream. Humph, stupid punk. Pain in the ass, kid. He bends down to drink some water, and then sits on a stone, listening to hear if the boy is still following him. And then there's a sound coming from the woods. Damn, he's not coming. What happened? What's he doing? I guess he misses him. Hey! He's running somewhere. Damn. Idiot, what are you doing? He runs back to see that Dororo has picked up a stick to confront the dead-eyed ape. But quickly, Yakimaru jumps and cuts off the head of the ape, which rolls onto the ground. Splat. And Dororo seems shocked. Fool, you can't take on the god of death. I figured I'd kill him and roast him for food. For food? No worries. You're too much. So we see two flames beneath shadows of reeds or wheat, rice, some kind of grass, and the moon in the sky. And then a little cricket on a blade of grass suddenly snatched up by a little hand, and skewered onto a little stick, sizzle, placed atop a little fire. And here's Dororo munching on the little cricket or grasshopper which he just caught. Hey, Dororo, food's ready. You want some? Thanks. Yakimaru tosses him what looks like maybe a little fish on a stick. This is hot. Munch, munch. Why eat there? Join me here. They really have become fast friends. No can do. If I let my guard down near you, you'll sock me first chance you get. Well, I guess they haven't really built up any trust yet. No, I won't. Come here, you're being there's a pain. As soon as I nod off, you'll knock me out by striking some vital point, then run. They say you can't trust family. Idiot, we're not family. Besides, you're after my sword. Yes, I remember. That sword'll be mine in a few days. Night-night, thanks for the grub. And he lies down to fall asleep with his head dangerously close to the fire that he built. Whatever, says Yakimaru, as he sits by his own fire. Now he lays down, but his eyes are still open. Even though we know he can't see anything, I guess we are meant to believe he is still awake and thinking intensely about something, and then he sits up. But Dororo looks fast asleep, and so he falls back down and perhaps goes to bed. But now the little boy sits up and looks over to see Yakimaru fast asleep. And so he lays back down, perhaps with sleep in his eyes, or sadness, it's hard to tell. But now he is asleep, and Yakimaru sits up. Seeing him asleep, he goes back to sleep. But then Dororo sits up and sees him asleep, so he goes back to sleep. And then Yakimaru sits up, and they seem to go back and forth like this, perhaps all throughout the night, wondering if the other one is still awake. I really remember that from being a child and sharing rooms with my siblings. There was always sort of this question of whether or not the other one or two were still awake. And now, for some reason, it seems harder to fall asleep when you think the other person is still awake, or perhaps vice versa. If they are asleep, we can feel like we can't fall asleep. And so it now looks like Dororo is lying down, but is wide awake. But he seems to think of something, so he sits up and says, "Hey bro, I hear something strange." But his bro does not respond, perhaps because he cannot hear. "Hey bro, you hear me, bro?" Ring, ring, ring. A strange sound is coming from the grasses, and Kanekozo. What? Guys, get him. I don't know if he's pointing at Yakimaru or what. Don't lose him. They all jump on top of Yakimaru. This makes no sense. Why tie us up? Take him to Bandai's mansion. Heave ho, heave ho. The whole village seems resolute in working together to take these two travelers to someone named Bandai. Oh, and here's a note. Kanekozo means money urchin, so I guess they think that he's a thief. We found some people who saw Kanekozo. Oh, okay. No, it was just enough that they noticed this creepy figure known as Kanekozo for them to be bound and brought to the village's leader, or whoever this is. But we see a lady reclined beneath some covers on a soft bench. I'm sorry, but we can't unbind you. She has a very placid, serene look on her face, 2 dots on her forehead. She's pretty. My mom was just as pretty too. But this is no time to gawk. Hey lady, what gives? Tying us up is gonna cost you extra. Always running his mouth. Kanekozo is not human. It's an evil spirit. It's been spotted by some of the villagers. Kanekozo must have spoken to one of you. Tell me, what did he say? The lady is asking the two of them. I didn't hear anything. And you wouldn't know, says Yakimaru. That can't be. We can't untie you unless you tell the truth. Yakimaru says nothing. Dororo says, Yo bro, you really didn't hear him say anything. Speak. It serves you no good to keep it to yourselves. No idea. That's too bad. Very well. Lock them up in the well shed as usual. And the people who brought in the two travelers bow in compliance. And now we see Dororo and Yakimaru tied to a post in what is the well shed. I guess that's the well behind them. Yakimaru seems content to just sort of rest. Some fun this is. I have no clue what's going on, but bro, isn't that Kanekozo? Shh. They both are staring anxiously at something. I hear a sound at the bottom of the well. Splash, splash. Something is at the bottom of this well. Something's climbing up the well. Now they both look really worried, and they're sweating as we see a shadowy hand, kind of like a frog hand, reach out from over the edge of the well. Splash. And it begins to heave its entire body up. Dororo seems petrified, and even Yakimaru seems quite worried. And now we see it wasn't just one hand, but many hands which adorn the crown of this shadowy well dweller. And now it crawls out towards them. It's coming for us, bro. We're its food. And now we see this hideous well beast, kind of like a giant salamander, with wide, bright eyes and a tongue reaching out. It does look very hungry. And it creeps towards them. Eek, bro. And it reaches, or it starts to pull itself above them. Ah! Somebody screams so loudly that it knocks the monster back. But it uprights itself. Oof. And either he shoves it back into the well, or it jumps back in itself. Splash. But the monster is gone. Clomp, clomp. Yakimaru stands above the well looking down at it. But, bro, was that the god of death? Nah, just a ghoul. First one I've come across that ugly. Oh, it's just a ghoul. Nothing to worry about. I think I got him. I'm going in the well to make sure it's dead. Hold on, I'll go check out the well. You're handicapped, bro, but it'll be easy for me. What? This isn't like scrubbing the well, Dororo. There's a monster down there. But Dororo has already begun to descend the well with a rope tied around his waist. Leave it to me, I said. Whoa, it reeks. They're bones, bro. Tons of bones all tied up. Probably guests that were here before us. No sign of the monster. That witch, she said, locked them up in the well shed as usual, which means there have been many who were tied up and made ghoul feed. Why should we kill anyone who knows about Kanekozo? Why should she kill anyone who knows about Kanekozo? That Bandai woman and Kanekozo have some sort of connection that she doesn't want us to know. Wow, he's really deduced a lot in the last moment here. Hey bro, there's a tunnel. Oh, blood. Green blood. Come up. That's the monster's cave. There's wind coming through the tunnel. That means it connects to something. I'm going to check it out. Hold on to my lifeline. Dororo continues to be such a brave little kid. Dororo, don't be reckless. But he's already begun to climb or crawl through this tiny tunnel. The board lifts. He seemed to have found the end of it. Sniff, sniff. I'm inside the mansion. He comes up from a board in the floor. Strange. I can't believe that monster would be crawling around here. And then he comes to a door that he slides open. Shoot. There's somebody here. We see three ladies notice Dororo in a mirror that they're looking into, and they are shocked. Get him, they shout, and he runs off. You punk. Somebody almost grabs him, falls to the floor trying. You thief. Now there's many chasing him. Ouch, he's gone. Where did he go? On my back. He seems to have jumped out of the way of the crowd, jumped over them, and then slides into the kimono of this man. Ow, ow, ow. He bit my ass. And now the crowd of people are on top of the big guy. Ow, ow, ouch, ouch. And they're all slamming their clubs down on his backside, hoping to hit the little boy. And it seems they caught him. You're the punk we locked up in the shed. Some snake you are, unbinding yourself and stealing into the mansion. He's now suspended from a branch, tied at the legs and the arms. Don't be shocked when you hear my name. I'm Bandit Dororo. Mess with me and you'll pay. Hey, my wallet's missing. Mine too. Give 'em back, punk. Wow. And he slams the boy right in the jaw. And a bunch of wallets and purses spring from his tiny body. Clobber him to death. Yeah, he's no good alive. Bam. Bang. Wow, they continue to just wail on him like a piñata. Bam. Kozo too. Lady Bandai is like a saint. She feeds the village poor, opens roads, and builds bridges. We can't count the ways she's helped us so far. If she's so generous, why is the village still poor? Don't you find it strange? Once in a while, a scary demon pillages the village, kills people, and takes all our money. If it weren't for Lady Bandai, we'd have died from starvation long ago. What kind of demon? I hear that one look makes all your hair stand on end. That's the monster that came out of the well. Quiet, Dororo. Let me do the questioning. And Kane Kozo? I don't know much about him. We take those who saw Kane Kozo to Lady Bandai. Kane Kozo whispered something very interesting to me last night. What? And now we seem to have a flashback to when this creature called Kane Kozo was bent over a sleeping Dororo. And he is saying, "You want it. You want it." I wonder what he's referring to. Maybe the bell. What? So I said, "If you're giving it out, I'll take it." Then he gave me a location. What? Where? Follow me. Well, I don't think he's lying, but it's funny that he's kept this information to himself. Until now. But now we see Yakimaru and a bunch of the villagers following him in the night through a bamboo forest to the location. And here we have arrived at a place where Kane Kozo is sitting. You want it. You want it. Continues to say, it's Kane Kozo. You want it. You want it. Run, it's gonna kill us. Wait. Kane Kozo's trying to tell us something. And we see his giant head seeming to hum or throb with some kind of vibration. And it continues until he disappeared. What? Whoa, it disappeared. Creepy. I see. Dig there. What do we dig up? Someone's bones. Just dig. So all the villagers start to crack into the ground where Kane Kozo was seated. It's money. And I guess they uncover a stash of coins. This is the village's money that the demon took. We must be dreaming. It really is the village's money. Woohoo! Our money's back. Come get your stolen money back. All the villagers are cheering and throwing their coins up in the air. They're recently recovered coins. Thank goodness for our money, says an old lady. Rah, rah, rah. Bro, who'd hide the money here? I already have an idea. Yakimaru, with his eyebrow cocked, seems to know much more about what's going on in this village than any of these poor villagers. But what is the secret of Bandai and her relationship to Kane Kozo and that hair-raising monster from the well? I don't know. And we will have to wait until next time to find out. But at least the villagers have their money back. Although it's kind of funny to think about what good that money does them when it seems like there isn't much to spend it on. Especially with all these monsters running about.